When you grow up and you develop friendships with incredible people, you'll do anything for them and they'll do anything for you. And that's what happened to me. I was so lucky.
Beautiful.
Oh, so many people I trained in Gold's Gym, I developed a great friendship with. I'm so lucky to have this new chapter, and I feel blessed to be able to talk to you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So where do we start, Rick? You've lived a very interesting life.
I've been in California for 44 years, and I came here with nothing. I had a knapsack and $400.
You came from where?
I was born in New Haven, Connecticut. I lived 15 minutes out of there in Ansonia, Connecticut. And I talk about this in my book. Growing up there around gangsters, bikers, and drug dealers, that was our neighborhood. So they were giving us mushrooms and pot in grammar school. So we were all doing drugs. When we went to high school, we were doing every drug you could name. And that was the challenge in my life because I lost so many friends. And a lot of friends that I grew up with were basically becoming drug addicts or committing crimes to make money to get drugs. Some of them went to prison for murder. Some of them committed suicide. And that's when I said to myself one day, I have to get out of here. There's got to be more to life than this. And I moved to Florida for 3 years. I was about 19 years old. And Fort Lauderdale, Florida was magic. It was amazing. I got to work at a cool gym, and then I got to work at a club at night called Summers. And they had like 15 bouncers because it was huge. And back then in Florida, when all the college kids would come out, I mean, there were 300,000 college kids out there. And all they wanted to do was have fun and drink. So we had an incredible time. The women and the girls back in those days wanted to be with you as much as you wanted to be with them. They'd come up and hug you and talk to you. And the challenge we all are having as we get older, the new generation is a little different because of social media. And if you ever really research it, doctors will tell you it's messed up a lot of people because they're obsessed every day of posting pictures and photoshopping their pictures. So a lot of the girls are posting pictures where their face looks beautiful. They look like they're 20 years old. And when you see them in person, you're like, wait a minute. So I understand it's a different generation for us, and we have to accept it. But I just try to talk about things like this in my book about, I'm trying to help the new generation. The real friendships you develop in your life's journey are so much more important than how many fake followers you have. And I talk about Gregory Hines. I mean, when I first came to Gold's Gym around 1982, it was magic. Because when you walked in, you would go, you'd see all these famous actors you'd see on TV growing up. You'd see all these incredible basketball, football players, hockey players. And everybody was so friendly. They'd want to work out with you, and you'd be training with so many famous people. It would blow your mind. And the 80s and 90s were so magical because back then, Pete Kromkowski owned it with Tim Kimber and Ed Connors. And there was a guy, Derek Barton, who created an agency in Gold's Gym where he would have casting calls in Gold's Gym. And casting calls for everything, movies, commercials, magazine covers, you name it. And I was very lucky. I was Derek's first member. And I booked so many things in there, it blows my mind. I mean, the Van Halen 5150 album cover.
That's you, right?
I booked it. I mean, it blows my mind when I look back at it. I got to party with those guys for 3 days. And Ed passed away, Eddie. He was so cool.
Yeah.
The way he played the guitar and sang. Yeah. This is what I talk about with so many of my friends. If you don't write a book about your life's journey, it never happened. I tried to get Jimmy Kahn, Ray Liotta, Gregory Hines to think about writing a book about their lives because they all are magic people. And unfortunately, they all passed away before they even did it. And then if you don't write a book about your life, when you leave this earth, which we all do, no one will ever say anything and no one will really know the truth about your journey. That's why I did mine, because I wanted to help a lot of people understand. We got to train our mind as much as our body, because the world is a little different now and a lot of things don't make sense. If you watch the news, subconsciously it makes you angry, because your thoughts create your feelings and your feelings create your actions. So if you watch the news too much, it's going to make you a little depressed and unhappy, because so many things are happening in California now that don't make sense for us. I've been here 44 years. It was magic throughout the 80s and 90s and even 2000. And now it's just different. The energy's different. The prices for everything are different. And we have to accept it. But I think for me, for right now, I'm very interested in a new chapter of my life. I'm feeling like I did when I was in Ansonia, when I was 19, because my neighbor, he was a cool guy. He was my age. For some reason, doing a lot of drugs and stuff, one day he put a shotgun in his mouth, blew his head off. And after I heard that, I said to myself, I got to get the fuck out of here. There's got to be more to life than this. And now it's funny, that's how I feel now in California. If I go to the grocery stores, nobody will look at you or talk to you. Everybody pushes their carts like this, almost smash into you. The prices, one bag's $100. I mean, this is the challenge that I'm accepting, but trying to deal with it to where I don't make myself unhappy. So I listen to a lot of audiobooks, which make you understand. Every morning you wake up, thank you, Jesus. I got another day. I'm going to do what makes me happy, and I'm going to try to make other people happy. So I go in the gym with smiles on my face. I laugh at people. I talk to people, and I try to make them happy. And a lot of them just complain. And I understand it, because that's what I'm telling you now. So we all have to train our mind as much as our body now, because your thoughts really create your feelings, and your feelings really create your actions. That's why a lot of people, when you drive your car out here, they're tooting the horns, yelling at people, screaming. Subconsciously, they're all unhappy. So we're blessed to be alive. I was blessed to be at Gold's Gym for 44 years.
Tell me about your career.
My career, I was blessed. I like I said, in the beginning of the 80s, I won Mr. Los Angeles. Really? Took second in Mr. California. Then I started doing all these commercials. I developed a great friendship with so many amazing people. It took my life to this other level. Pete Krimkowski was amazing. There was a director guy. He was amazing. He did so many commercials that him and I became friends, and I did dozens of commercials with him.
But you were like you were probably one of the most recognizable fitness.
I was, and I was so lucky.
Models.
Joe Pitka is a famous commercial director.
Probably the most famous.
I talk about him in my book. I did a dozen commercials with him, major ones with superstars. Then I wound up doing all these other commercials because Derek would have casting calls in Gold's Gym. I wound up doing 42 commercials. There would be 5 commercials a year of me. I mean, like I said, you know, in my life, as I'm 67 now, and I look at my resume, I got a 4-page resume, and I just shake my head and laugh about it. I can't believe I was so lucky to do all these things. But the companies I talk to today, they don't even want to see my resume. They go, how many followers you have? And I'm like, okay, I understand the world is like that. But throughout the 80s and 90s, I got at Gold's Gym, I booked Van Halen's 5150 album cover. I booked Body Shaping, the ESPN TV show, fitness show. The casting call was in Gold's Gym. There were so many casting calls in Gold's Gym, so many lined up people, and everybody was getting so many things. Magazine covers, commercials, TV shows. It was blowing my mind, because every time you walked in, you were like, And you didn't even want to leave. You'd be there for 2-3 hours. I mean, Lyle Alzado was one of my best friends. He gave me this. When I tore my pec benching 500, he took me to the hospital. The hospital wouldn't touch me because I was 25 years old. I didn't have any insurance. So Lyle got so pissed off, he took me to the Raiders surgery guy. It was amazing. I get the surgery. I tore my pec 3rd degree. Bad surgery. The complete pec ripped completely in half. So I had surgery.
Bad injury, you mean?
Yeah.
You said bad surgery.
You know, the surgery, I'm sorry, the surgery was just, they told me it was bad because the center of the pec was ripped completely apart.
Yeah, a bad injury.
Yes,
yeah.
It was a bad injury, yes. And when I had the surgery, I woke up, I was like, wow. I was so depressed and unhappy because what I was so passionate about, bodybuilding,
right.
It was over. And I talk about this in my book too. When I wake up, there's a guy sitting there. I'm looking, who is it? Because I'm high from the drugs they gave me. It's Joe Pitka. Joe, what are you doing? He goes, Ricky, I heard something happened to you. I'm here, bro. He's talked to me about life. This is why I keep saying the friendship you develop in your life is so much more important. It really is. He talked to me about life, told me everything's going to be okay for you. Don't worry about nothing. When he left, I looked over. He left me an envelope. I opened it up, $3,000 in it, because he knew I wasn't rich.
Yeah. I asked Joe to do an interview with me. I'm hoping one day we connect.
I can make that happen.
I would love that.
Oh, him and I are great friends.
Joe would be fascinating.
He used to invite me to his homes, to his restaurant. I would go for Christmas and holidays. Listen, I talk about this in my car. He had so many cars. He was a car collector. And he knew I loved cars growing up. That's all we were into, is muscle cars, right? And one day he calls me up and he says, Rick, I have so many cars, I don't have enough parking in the garage. Can you take one? I go, really? He goes, yeah. I go, which one? He goes, the Bentley. There's a picture of it in my book. He gave me a Bentley for 4 years. I drove this car. I was like, wow, it was amazing. And I talk about it in my book. He blew my mind. When I went to pay for the surgery, he paid for it.
Really?
You see what I'm saying? When you grow up and you develop friendships with incredible people, you'll do anything for them and they'll do anything for you. And that's what happened to me. I was so lucky.
Beautiful.
Oh, so many people I trained in Gold's Gym, I developed a great friendship with. Gregory Hines, this tap dancer, he was magic. He was a singer, an actor, and a tap dancer. He would take me to everything he did. He even put me on he had a TV show. He put me on his show. He was incredible. And when he was going to get married to this younger girl, because we always went out and partied. We'd go to Vegas and go to boxing matches. We went to bodybuilding shows. And one day he said to me in the gym, Ricky, I'm so in love with this girl. The thought of being with another girl makes me sick. I said, God bless you, bro. That's love. You're in love. And for the wedding, he had to get a blood test. The blood test said he's got some problems with his liver. I think it was his liver. I'm not positive, but they put him on chemo. He died in a few months. And he was in great shape. He looked incredible before the blood test. And I always wondered if he didn't take that drug they gave him, the chemo, would he have lived another 5 years? I never know about these things. I'm an old school Italian guy, and I believe in longevity doctors. Because a lot of prescription drugs they give people, these doctors, there's one thing they might help you, but there's 15 side effects that could kill you. Really? So I know everybody has their own thoughts, and you think whatever you want to think. We all have the right to think any way we want. For me, I try to research everything I'm dealing with, whatever it is, and find solutions. And this is why when I did the Body Shaping show on ESPN, we would get so many viewers, 3 million viewers a day. We were the #1 fitness show in the world. And we would get so many letters, because back then it wasn't just the phone ticks. You know, and 1990 to 2000, we would get so many letters, and we would answer the letters, and we would have to get certified every year. So I started learning more and more about the body. And I learned that there isn't one thing that works for everybody. You got to find what works for you, whether we're talking about cardio, whether we're talking about weightlifting, whether we're talking about eating. You all have to find what works for you by trying different things. And that's what I try to help people with, because I really love doing the Body Shaping Show, because I got to help people who were overweight, wanted to lose weight, who were underweight, wanted to gain weight, were crippled. I mean, you name it, I would try to help them. And that was the beautiful thing about working and doing a show on ESPN that was about fitness. And it felt really good to help so many people you could help. And that's what I try to tell the new generation. Helping other people makes you feel good. It's a beautiful thing. And I mean, you do that with all the people you have come here. Mm-hmm. And that's what life's about.
How did the fame that you had back then change you?
The fame was amazing. I was shocked because I was shocked.
You were a celebrity.
I grew up in a place where I was around drug dealers, bikers, and gangsters. And all of a sudden, I was a celebrity. Really? I was so lucky.
But Gold's Gym back then was
Gold's Gym.
Describe the scene then.
Yeah, no, the scene there was so amazing. And Gold's Gym, even they talk about it in my book, because I mention a lot of the people there, and they said things there that I put in. And Derek said, Rick was my first member. It did more than anybody. And Pete Kromkowski's brother, Paul, is the guy who would send me to all these new Gold's Gym openings. I would do seminars and train people. I wound up doing about 25 different new gyms. Flew all around the world. I couldn't believe what I was so capable of doing. And it blew my mind, because wherever I went back then, people would go, oh, Rick Valente, hey, you know.
But describe the scene, like in Southern California at Gold's Gym back in the 80s and maybe early 90s.
The scene was incredible. It was beautiful because, like I say, so many amazing people were in there that were friendly and happy, and you'd talk to and laugh and train together and compete against each other. Rock stars, actors, bodybuilders, the best bodybuilders in the world were there. And actors, you were a little kid watching Westerns. There's guys there that are in from the Westerns. You'd be like, whoa. I mean, I respected so many people there. I mention a bunch of them in my book, and I'm just saying, I'm a very lucky guy. I'm blessed that I was in California for 44 years, and I did so many things, and now I'm in a new chapter of life, because I'm thinking I might want to have a new chapter, so I think I might move to Florida.
Really?
Yeah, because I know a lot of famous actors who moved out of California too, because for some reason, the prices, the homeless, the crimes, it's in our face every day. And I know people love California. The weather's the best thing here now. But we all have to deal with the things you have to deal with outside. So driving here to your place, there's a bunch of homeless people. And one guy had his coat off, and this older lady was walking by, and he swung the Coke and hit her in the back of the head. I fucking started screaming at him, what the fuck are you doing? And the lady was, thank you. I tried to help her. And the kid ran. Really? I mean, this is what I'm saying is in your face every day, and you have to accept it, but it makes you pissed off. He hit this older lady walking right here, right up the street on the sidewalk.
Yeah, it's drugs.
I know. So listen, don't get me wrong. I'm telling you, just like I do every day, I thank Jesus every day I wake up. I say, thank you, Jesus. I got another day. I'm going to do whatever makes me happy, and I'm going to try to make other people smile. That's what I love to do, whatever it is. And you do amazing things. You help a ton of people. You're an amazing photographer. I looked at a bunch of the pictures you took. Amazing. And I know you've had an amazing life. And I'm curious when you're going to write your book about your life.
No, I haven't thought about that.
I'm telling you, bro.
I'm still living it.
I know you are. But, writing it and all the beautiful pictures you have, when you talk about people you got to shoot in places all around the country, whatever and you put those pictures in. I have 500 pictures in my book. It's flipping people out because when you're talking about a certain thing, it makes it more entertaining, but more factual too. I talk about Lyle Alzado, Gregory Hines, Tanya Knight. I was engaged to her, bro. She was beautiful. Unfortunately, she passed away young. Broke my heart. My brother, he passed away. So anyways, I can mention dozens and dozens of people that left this world, and I give them love and respect every day, and it made me understand I'm going to leave this earth too someday. So once you understand that and accept it, just challenge yourself to train your mind and do whatever makes you happy. And I like that. And I like to, Joe Rogan, I like to watch his stuff because I like the way he talks.
He's a great conversation.
He really is. His conversations are great, but also I like the way he thinks about things. Some of the things he say, I shake my head and I go, God damn, he's so right, you know? And that's what's cool. So many people are doing these kinds of things, and some of them are saying stuff that is so just untrue, and you shake your head, you go, why are they saying that? And that's the challenge we all have, because no matter what you post, not everybody's going to like you. And some of them may post negative things about you.
Sure.
So all I do is delete it and block them. I'm not a tech guy. You know, it's like for me to post something every day, I never had to do that in my life. And I know in today's world, that's what it's all about. You got to post something every day to get more followers. And I have people that inbox me and tell me $500 a month, I'll get you 3 million followers. I say no thanks. Because I know people who have 3, 8 million people, and some of the posts, they get 250 likes. Don't you know we know you bought fake followers? I mean, really? So that's what it's all about. And like I say all the time, I know we think differently. I'm just trying to understand everything that's going on in the world, accept it, and do what makes me happy. I'm blessed I got to come here and talk to you. I had a great workout today. I trained arms.
So the injury that you had to your pec?
Tore my pec.
How did that set you back?
It ended my bodybuilding career, but I talk about this in my book too. I was so depressed. The first couple of weeks, I was just staying in an apartment doing drugs. And one day I had to go out to get food, and they put me in a sling back then, because back then, they put you in a sling to make sure nothing would happen to the surgery, but everything would atrophy. It would all go down. Mm. And one day I'm walking right here towards the firehouse to get some food, and here's a kid walking across the street in a wheelchair. His arms are cut off and his legs are cut off. And he sees me, he smiles, he goes, "Sir, what happened to you?" And I started talking to him, and we walked to the beach, and he changed my life because he made me understand the way he's dealing with what he's living with. He was born like that. He's happy. He goes out to Venice and he plays a song on musical stuff. And he made me understand to stop being so unhappy and depressed where I was doing nothing but punishing myself. I was negative, I was very unhappy, and I kept doing as much drugs as I can, not to get out of the house. I couldn't work out. And I met him, and he blew my mind. So I gave him $100, and I told him, thank you. And he was like, for what? I said, dude, you just woke me up. I went back home, didn't do any drugs. The next day I went to the gym and trained my legs. And that's what helped me. And then I started getting back in shape. And that's when I met Tanya Knight. And we were together for 2 years. She lived in my house. We got engaged. She was beautiful. She was amazing. She was 10 years younger than me. I was 31, she was 21. And we had an amazing time, but I got her a lot of magazine covers. She did so much in the bodybuilding world. She was amazing, beautiful, great body. And a lot of girls wanted to take her out to clubs. And at her age, I understand. So that's when one day she said she wanted her own apartment. So basically she left me. Broke my heart, but I understood. And then after that, I booked the the ESPN fitness show, which was amazing. Being on TV, it was amazing. And what was going on then, ESPN would also put on bodybuilding shows on TV. And they asked me to host them. I was hosting them. Bodybuilding shows, it was incredible with Carla Dunlap. She was a famous girl who was on the show with me, the ESPN show, the body shaping show. It was an amazing time, man. Gold's Gym changed my life. I mean, when I think of all the things I was so lucky to book, it blows my mind.
How has the culture changed from back then till today?
It's different. The culture change is different. For some reason, a lot of people back then wanted to help each other. And for some reason now, subconsciously, a lot of people just want to keep posting pictures and stuff of themselves to get more followers every day, and that's what they're obsessed with. Doctors have wrote articles about this, how it's messing everybody up because we become obsessed with our phone. And there's a couple of things I want to tell people. If you do this every day, you're fucking your neck up. Everybody does this every day. And I mean, I see so many people in the gym doing leg extensions, staring at their phones. And it's like, that's not a real workout. I don't understand. And I know everybody does what they want and they have the right to. I'm just saying at my age, when I see that, and I say to them, hey, can I work in? They go, no, I just started. Really? So then I'll leave and do something else. I'll come back 20 minutes later. They're still on that machine, doing the same thing, looking at their phone. So we all have to understand the new way the world works with all this social media stuff is messing a lot of people up because everybody becomes obsessed with it so much. Every day they post 2-3 things. And I think that's what's challenging everybody to be a superstar celebrity when they haven't really done anything. And in today's world, if you get millions of followers, companies might work with you. I understand it's different. Everybody's got to accept it and do whatever makes them happy. So if people love to do all that stuff, God bless you, keep doing it. I never had to market myself. That's why at my age, it seems a little awkward that everybody tells me, you got to market your book. You got to post pictures every day and say, I'm like, really? I don't know, man.
Tell me about performance enhancing drugs.
What do you,
like steroids, things like that?
Yeah, you know, back in the day, we would do maybe 200 to 300 milligrams a week, 3 months before the show. And then you'd get off for 4 or 5 months, then get back on for another show. But in today's world, these kids are taking 3,000 milligrams a week with growth hormone and other things. That's why a lot of them in today's world, their stomachs are so big, everything's growing. Their legs are so huge and they don't get that cut up. See, back when I was competing, bodybuilding was like art. It was amazing. The waists were small. Everybody, when they were posing, they would learn how to pose and make it entertaining where people would watch it and go, wow. But now a lot of them don't even have posing routines. They're so big and huge, you could tell they're taking way too much drugs. And a lot of them, as soon as they get on stage, they come out and go like this. They want you to applaud before they even hit a pose. Really? I liked bodybuilding in the 70s, 80s, 90s, where it was like art. And it was entertaining to go and watch a show. Now it's a little different. Everybody's so big. Their waists are as wide as their chest. Their stomachs are blowing because their organs, everything's growing because they're taking too much drugs. And a lot of guys today are dying, 24, 30 years old. Really? I feel sorry for them. It's an obsession. And a lot of these coaches are prescribing all these drugs, which I don't understand. Some of the guys back in the day, when you look at their body, they looked amazing. They were only doing 300 milligrams a week. You know, Deca and maybe Primobolan, some things like that. Back in the day, that's what we did. We would do it maybe 3 months before a contest. Then you would get off it for 4 or 5 months. And the next show, you do it 3 months before the show. That's what it was about. Now it's different. And I try to help people when they tell me they're doing 3,000 milligrams a week. I say, dude, you're killing yourself. You don't need to take that much. And that's what I don't understand, why coaches recommend that much.
There's also other drugs like
Oh, no, yeah. So many other drugs I don't even know. I never took. Yeah, no, there's a lot of different drugs, bro. And everybody's got to be careful and try to understand what works for you. And before you enter a contest, try something months before. Just see how you react to it. That's why a lot of guys, when I see them get on stage, they look like they're guest posing. They don't even look like they peaked. They're not into great shape. And then when I watch them pose, I just go, really? And I know it's a different world, and I can't make everybody feel the way I do. I loved going to shows in the 70s and 80s and watch the posing routines. There would music, and every time they would hit a pose, they'd start with their fingers. It was amazing, man. Now, it's different. It's different. I know. I understand. It is different, and a lot of things are different, but us older guys have to accept it.
If you had your life to live all over again, what would you have done differently?
You know, I don't know, because I was lucky to do all the things I did. I think personally, I knew a half dozen billionaires, and I got a front seat that showed me money doesn't make you happy. A lot of these guys had billions of dollars. They were flying me around the world in private jets. I was going to their homes and seeing $200 million worth of art in their houses. Big pictures that were framed that were worth $20 to $30 million each. But then I would see all the little kids are in therapy. Then I would listen to the way they talk to their wives. My mom and dad, two Italians, Sicilians, they showed love and respect every day. And when I watched these families, I was just always shaking my head saying, wow, money doesn't really make you happy. I know a lot of people are challenged to make a bunch of money, and I get it. But you have to have passion that makes you happy. Whatever your passion is, whatever really makes you happy. I know money's great, don't get me wrong, but I was around a lot of billionaires that had most incredible homes, incredible cars, private jets, you name it, but they weren't happy because they were so obsessed with making billions more. Do this, do that, and they'd wind up ripping people off, making bullshit lies, and oof. I never was into making billions of dollars and being obsessed with it. I never was. I'm not rich, don't get me wrong, but I'm okay. I made some money. I sold my townhouse because I had to, because I'm retired. And, you know, I got a 2-bedroom house in Culver City. It's $5,000 a month. Plus the food is another $1,000 or so a month. So you're spending $75,000 a year to live here? Really? Nah, that's why I'm going to move to Florida.
What are you proudest of in your life?
My parents. I'm proud and blessed that I got to do all the things I did. And I'm grateful I got to share things with people. That's for me, that's what I'm proud of. When you help people out and you do whatever you can for them and they're happy, when you leave this earth, the things they're going to say about you are beautiful. That's why I talk about all the people I loved and developed friendships with. When they pass away, I still bring up their names.
What do you hope people say about you after you're gone?
You know, I hope they just say they enjoyed my energy and they loved what I would do for them and they enjoyed what they could do for me. Because that, to me, is what real friendships are. You know, it's different than I know in the world today because a lot of the friendships today are about how much money can we make together. I get it. I understand it. But back in the day, your friends just would do whatever you wanted to do and whatever you needed. Like I said, when I tore my pec, Gregory, Hines, I mean, he was amazing. All these people helped me out. Joe Pitka showed up at the hospital. When I woke up from the surgery, I was shocked. He was in there. Left me $3,000. I told him, I'll pay you back. He goes, don't insult me. Gave me the car for 4 years. I went to pay the bill. he paid the surgery bill. I mean, can I tell you anything else that blows my mind about the friendship of this amazing guy? This guy was the best commercial director in the world. Did over 6,500 commercials.
Yeah, he was the best.
Yeah. Did so many commercials for the Super Bowls. I mean, did some movies with famous people. Any commercial I did with him, there were so many famous people in the commercial. I would be like, whoa. This is what I'm trying to tell people. The friendships you develop in your life are so important. It really is. And people you make happy love you. Because in today's world, that's very challenging. Wherever you go, a lot of times, grocery stores, wherever you go, the energy's different. People are pushing their carts right at you. They won't look at you.
You've been in love before?
I'm sorry?
You've been in love before?
Yes, I've been in love. I've been engaged twice. I've never been married. But I've been in love, and it's an amazing feeling because I watched my mom and dad's love. It was amazing. I don't want to start crying.
It's great to grow up under that.
Yeah. You said you loved your parents too. I remember that. My parents showed love and respect every day. Hug and kiss. My dad always opened the doors for her. Always told me, open your mother's door. Yeah. Every day when Dad came home from work, my mom would take his shirt off and scratch his back in the kitchen. And he'd be like, oh.
When a kid sees that, it changes your life forever.
Yes. No, I was blessed to have two parents who showed so much love and respect. It was an amazing thing. And then when they passed away, my mom passed away 3 months after my father. And it was challenging, and they're in heaven together. And I have a picture of them in my place now. I talk to them every day. I have their wedding picture together. They were so beautiful, smiling. It's in my book. Yeah, I was blessed. I think that is one of the most important, blessed things I've had in my life.
Yep.
Being around parents that were so much amazing, love and respect. My father had 5 brothers. These Italian brothers, man. I can only imagine what they did in New Haven growing up, but my father ran a social club, an Italian club, St. Sebastian Italian Club, and he would take me there as a little kid. And some of these Godfather movies I watched, I did that. I would bring drinks to people. They would tip me $1. And, they would do things in there I can't tell anybody about. I mean, I was so blessed to grow up with, my father had 5 brothers. And on Sundays, they would all come to the house. And that's what was beautiful about Italians that loved their families, because all my father's brothers' wives and kids would come, and we would all have spaghetti and meat. My mother made all these things. Come on. Everybody would eat and laugh and talk around. It was amazing. That was an amazing time in my life. Sundays were always fun. And when we were young kids, my mother took us to church every Sunday, and she'd dress us up in suits. There's a picture of that in my book, too. That's what's incredible.
What was your favorite period of your life?
I think when I was around 5, 6 years old, the way my father was a gun collector, and he would take me fishing. He would teach me how to load up guns. He would teach me how to make the bullets, because that's what my father did. And, when I got older, he would take me hunting. I mean, my father loved to fish. He loved to hunt. And that's what the old-fashioned Italian guys did. That's what they loved. And everybody respected him. Wherever we went in town, my father would talk to people. They'd smile and laugh at him. We'd go to a restaurant. My father would go to pay, and they'd say, oh, Rick, somebody. They would say, his name was Sonny. They'd say, Sonny, somebody picked it up. And that's how everybody loved and respected him. And that's what's really cool. And I started doing that. People I liked, if I see them at a restaurant, I pay for their lunch. I like to do that. Yeah. I did that for a lot of people. It's kind of fun. Because then real nice people, the next time they see you in a restaurant, they pay for your lunch. That's what friendships and respect is all about. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the lowest point of your life? What was the toughest part?
The lowest part, I think, in my life was when I tore my pec, because I started doing drugs.
Your whole persona was.
It was different.
It was revolving around your.
That's exactly right.
Your physique.
That's right. But also, when I retired, when the Body Shaping show ended after 10 years, I just started hanging around with famous people, actors and stuff, and all kinds of people. And we'd go to Vegas, and we would do coke for 2-3 days. And, you know, that's what they all did. They loved cocaine. I mean, Jimmy Kahn was best friends with the owner of the Playboy place. He would take us there. We'd go to Vegas. He was friends with a lot of these mob guys who owned some of the clubs. We would go in the back and get amazing. I mean, this friend of his owned a few strip clubs. I can't really say what we did, but wow. When you walked in, then girls would come up naked and hug you and kiss you. Wow, wow, wow. It's different now. Yeah. Everything now is about money, unfortunately. And like I said, back in the 80s and 90s, girls in Gold's Gym would come up and hug you, go to lunch with you, talk to you. Now it's a little different. Girls, for some reason, in today's world, are so obsessed with posting beautiful pictures of them online, but when they see guys, they won't talk to you. If you smile at a girl in the gym, she'll go like this. Really? One time, I was stretching in this machine. It was a bar way up in the second room. I was stretching. This girl comes and she grabs on the other one, which is fine, and was doing leg raises, just straight, you know, for your lower abs. And so I just said, hey, have you ever tried doing it this way? And she looked at me and she said, please don't talk to me. And I said, okay, sorry. And I walked away and I thought, wow, don't talk to me? I've been in that gym for 44 years and I'm trying to show you some other things you could do for the body part. And she was mad. And that's what I'm just saying. You know, I just walk away and I go, wow, okay. And I know it's just a younger generation. She was only probably around 30. So I was probably older than her father. Like, whatever.
Are you at peace with everything you've done and everything?
I am at peace right now with everything. And like I said, I know I'm in the fourth quarter of life. I understand that. I'm blessed if I get another 20. I'm closing in on 70. I'm 67. So I just want to have a new chapter, just like I did when I was younger and I came to Gold's Gym.
Your energy is great.
Yeah, no, thank you. I just want to have a new chapter, and I want to be somewhere else and meet other people.
Back to your bodybuilding, especially like in I guess the 80s.
Yeah.
Is when you peaked out probably?
Yes, it was fun. It was fun to learn how to peak.
But you're chasing perfection, right?
You really are. And it's challenging for all the bodybuilders because it was challenging to try to find your body balanced. So a lot of times some people's legs were a little lean or too small, this and that. You know, we all had to deal with certain things to make it complete. And that's the challenge everybody faced. So I learned a lot. I mean, there were so many top bodybuilders in the 80s and 90s in Gold's Gym that would blow your mind. And I was lucky enough to be able to train with them. And there were so many different workouts, high reps, heavyweight. You know, I started doing heavyweights, squatting 500, benching 500. But see, what I learned, and a lot of people in today's world who did that are always having surgeries. So even some of the guys who won Mr. Olympia, unfortunately, are in a lot of problems right now. They've had a lot of surgeries. So for all this new generation, you don't have to keep trying to bench 500, 600. Power lifters do that. Being a bodybuilder, try to do whatever makes your body look like art. So find different ways to work out. That's what it's all about. Yeah, it's interesting.
How has bodybuilding changed since then?
Well, it's changed, like I said earlier, because the drugs they take, and unfortunately, the posing routines that I've seen weren't that really good. Back then, we picked music and we would hit the poses on each music hit. And that's what was fun. People would watch it and go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Now they walk out. And like I say, the few shows I've watched, these guys would walk out. And before they even hit a pose, they come in, they go, they want you to applaud. And I was sitting there going, really? Okay. Yeah, listen, everything can be entertaining. And that's why a lot of these shows where they're having all these different people on, it's all about entertaining people. And that's what's cool about it, you know?
You end up becoming like an object, though.
I did.
Back then, right?
Yes.
You're just a symbol of...
Listen, I had 5 commercials running at the same time, which blew people's mind. Blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. Then I started doing all these covers. I was in all these magazine covers and then articles inside. And when I was a kid, about 11, 12 years old, I built a vision board. I never knew what it was. I didn't even know if they called it that back then. But I started out, I was into martial arts. So I put all these martial arts magazines I bought, pictures up. And then I started thinking about bodybuilding. So then I covered it with all bodybuilders. And I fantasized, I would go downstairs in our little gym and I would look at all these things, all these bodybuilders on the wall. I'm going to be like that one day. And the more I got into it, it made you so much more passionate about whatever it is you wanted to do. And it drives you every day even more. And I was blessed to make it a reality. I was thinking when I was a little kid, someday I'm going to be on the cover of a magazine. I couldn't believe I was. When I won the light heavyweight class in Mr. Los Angeles, this friend of mine came up to me, older guy, and he said, I want to put you on the cover of the magazine. I was like, are you serious? And he did. And that was my first cover, and it blew my mind. And when I went home for Christmas, I would go home for Christmas every year to see my parents. And when I came home, my mother said, Dad wants to take you down to the Sebastian Club. I said, okay. He took me down there. He gets in, he's talking to all these people. They're all looking at me, laughing. And my father keeps looking and going like this. I didn't know what he was doing. He moved away. He framed the magazine. I was on the cover and put it up on the wall. It blew my mind. And they all said such nice things about me. And it was an amazing feeling that I felt my dad was so proud of me. And that was an amazing feeling. Yeah. Because I was about 25 years old, and I can't believe I got on a cover of a bodybuilding magazine. I fantasized about that. That's why I try to tell this new generation, when you have a passion of something, whatever it is, put a vision board up on the wall. Because every day when you wake up and you look at it, it motivates you. It really does.
Motivation is really the key, isn't it?
Isn't it the key?
I mean, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not driven and motivated,
that's
focused.
exactly right. That's exactly right. And that's what I try to help people understand, because it saved my life. Because like I said, I had friends who went to jail. I have friends who committed suicide. I have friends who were dealing drugs and got into a fight and shot a guy in the fucking head, killed him, went to prison. And I said, I got to get out of here. There's got to be more to life than this. And that's when I went to Florida. It was amazing, man.
Yeah, focus and drive is so much more important than talent.
Exactly. And see, the people you hang around with are your life. So challenge yourself to be around people who make you happy. And you always love seeing each other. You know, sometimes you hang around with people and they want you to do this and that, and you're like, ugh, no thanks.
Did you find there was like this, kind of a negative aspect to the competitive nature of bodybuilding? Like the other guys maybe didn't really like seeing you.
That's exactly right.
Pass them up?
That's exactly right.
Really?
Because I was lucky enough to be in Gold's Gym all this time and they booked me on so many things, a lot of the other bodybuilders were jealous, so subconsciously they weren't giving me respect. And I had to deal with it. It's okay. I understand. People are jealous of each other, whether you're doing karate, whether you're doing boxing, whatever. You just do what makes you happy. And that's what I've learned a lot about life, especially at my age. You got to try to find what makes you happy, because every day is a gift. Every day we wake up, thank you, Jesus. Do whatever makes you happy. And if you have that happy energy, some people around you are like, hey, they like that. Because in today's world, unfortunately, I have a lot of motorcycles. I love motorcycles. When I was a kid, when I was around 10, I got a little mini bike. And when I wanted it, my neighbor got one. I said, Dad, I want one. He goes, well, get a job. And it was the best thing he did because I got a job delivering papers and cutting lawns, and I bought it, and I loved it so much because I bought it. I was driving mini bikes, man. All the friends around us that were older had all kinds of Harleys, and when we were little kids, 10 or 15 of them would drive by us with straight pipes. Whoa, we'd be like, wow. Then guys muscle cars would pull up, and we're 10, 11 years old. We're standing right there by the street. They'd stop, rev it up, and then burn the tires. We'd run out and touch the street. It was amazing, man. We loved it. That's how we grew up. We loved the motorcycles. We loved cars. And that's what made us, as we got older, I bought a Mustang. I bought a Sportster. It was really cool. When I was in high school, I had a Harley. It was crazy. Yeah, I was very lucky to grow up where I did, but also I had to deal with things because I had to learn about life. See, I wasn't into the high school thing. Our freshman year, I played football. And one of my best friends played football with me, Jimmy Vane. He was my best friend because in grammar school, when I was in grammar school, about 6th, 7th grade, we were out back of the school, and this guy threw a basketball, hit me in the back of the head. And I turned around, and they laughed at me and gave me the finger. So I had to go over and try to fight him. And then this guy, Jimmy Vane, ran up and got into him. He was an Italian kid. I never knew him before. We became best friends. Jimmy Vane and Rick Valente. We had so much fun. We played football together freshman year in high school. We were undefeated the entire year, lost the last one. But it was an amazing feeling. And him and I, we were great friends. He was a good-looking Italian kid. And it breaks my heart. He died young. We promised his mother, because she was a nurse. And in high school, we would come to their house, and we would smoke pot. But her mom was okay with that. She just always told us, never do heroin. And we promised we never would. So when I moved to Florida, I told Jimmy, you need to come and visit me, bro. And he said, I'm coming. And I talk about this in my book. My mother calls me one day, tells me his mother found him in bed with a needle in his arm injecting heroin. He died at 21 years old. Broke my heart. He was a good-looking kid. Life. This is what life's about. Life's about what you experience in your life's journey and what you learn. I learned a lot about life. And I try to challenge myself to do what makes me happy. So,
Rick, let me ask you one last question. What would you say is the most important thing you've learned in your life?
I think the most important thing I've learned about life is trying to do the good things and trying to be happy and try to challenge yourself to enjoy every day you wake up, because I know we all leave this earth. And we never know when or why, but as you get older, you lose a lot of friends and you lose a lot of family members, and it makes you understand and you have to accept it. So I do. I'm 67. Every day I wake up, I tell you, I say, thank you, Jesus. I got another day. I'm going to do what makes me happy. I love to cook food. My mother taught me how to cook. Any girls I date, I do all the cooking. So I just challenge myself to be the positive energy wherever I go. And I try to do that. When I go to grocery stores, I smile. When I go to the gym, same thing. I brought TR. I talk about TR in my book. He came and stayed at my place in my apartment for a couple of weeks.
TR is my trainer.
Yeah, he's great. I talk about him in my book. You see, in my book, I give so many friends of mine respect, love and respect. TR He's an amazing guy, amazing trainer. He knows how to work on your body.
T.R. Goodman.
He really does. He really does. Mm-hmm. I put pictures of him in my book, and he
has techniques that are barbaric.
I know.
But they're effective.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
He trained so many famous people, hockey players. He was a hockey player. See, that's what I loved about doing my book. All the people I talk about, I give them so much love and respect and talk about the amazing things they did. And I talk about TR. I brought him to Gold's Gym his first time. And he's the only guy, since Gold's Gym was there, has his own little room. It's amazing. He trains so many people and everybody likes him. I mean, him and I have had a lot of fun, and he's helping me now. I gave him the book, and he loves the book. He loves the book.
He connected us.
Exactly. And I want him to do a book about his life, and he agrees. Same thing with Frankie. I talk about Frankie. Frankie works in his place. And his brother Nick. I mailed my book to his brother Nick. It freaked him out. He texts me, he goes, God damn it, I can't believe all these pictures in the book. It's blowing my mind. Look at all these famous people. You're with them.
You've lived a great life.
I lived an incredible life. So have you. And I want you to think about sometime, and it's really easy, I can help you. All you do is get a recorder. And this is what I did. Every chapter of my life I was thinking about, I would just record it. And then I would plug it into my computer, and I would mail it to this writer. He would put it all together. And I'm just thinking, when you start doing that, you talk about where you were born, you talk about your family, you talk about what you learned growing up, the passion you have, things you discovered that you did well with. I mean, you have all these things. Photographer, you're an amazing photographer. Some of the pictures I looked at on your Instagram thing, I was like, whoa, it's beautiful. And now what you're doing now, you're helping all kinds of people, through all these interviews you do.
I can't change the oil in my car.
That's okay. But I'm saying all this needs to be in your book when you're ready to do it. That's all I'm saying. Because when you get a book out, you're going to love it. My book has almost 450 pages, 500 pictures. It's freaking
See, I feel like I'm still living it.
I know.
The last 3 months have been one of the most interesting periods I've ever had.
Yeah. And a lot of the things I talk about, you could probably understand and relate to. You loved your parents. I heard you say that somewhere at an interview.
Yeah.
I think it was with Joe Rogan.
That's right.
Where did you grow up?
Detroit until I was about 9, and then Chicago until I was 26.
Okay.
And then LA.
Cool.
I've had a great life.
Good for you.
And it's getting better.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I'm grateful, man.
Rick Valente, thank you so much, man. You're a fascinating cat.
Come on, man. Thank you.
When I was designing the first Soft White Underbelly book, I realized that there were so many great portraits that weren't going to make it into that book. They just wouldn't fit. And once I saw how well that first book sold, I knew I'd have to design a second book. This second book is finally ready to ship. Like the first one, this book has a collection of some of the best portraits from Soft White Underbelly, accompanied by a quote from that person's interview. This book features another group of Rebecca portraits, as well as a collection of color images of the Whitaker family, and plenty of others. You can order yours for $125 or $150 for a signed copy at softwhiteunderbelly.org. Again, like the first book, once this book is sold out, I will not be printing more of them. The portraits are what Soft White Underbelly is all about, and these two books contain the best of all that work. Thank you for watching.